Hello, welcome back to SFRE. We, like many of you probably, have found our secret special hiding spot away from our family. Peace, tranquility, it's a wonderful thing.
So we can hear them if something breaks or somebody screams, but they can't see us
They can't see a thing.
while we're recording
Where's Mom?
I don't know. This week's episode is called Keeping the Fire Alive, and we thought it was really appropriate because we're all struggling to make time, find time, whether that's for travel, for marriage. And while we've been on the road, we have found some creative ways to have little date nights, little getaways, whether it's setting up a tent on your back porch or sneaking down to the coffee house in your building, or now we have built-in babysitting. We have a 14-year-old, which is wonderful.
Such a blessing.
Yeah.
She is. But it is important to note that when you're in a tight space together, you have to find and carve out time for yourself and for your spouse.
Yeah. And we want to come out of the gate saying that we are no authority on marriage. You know.
Absolutely not.
We're not.
Have you heard of imposter syndrome?
Yeah.
This is what I'm suffering from right now.
We don't have it figured out, but we do recognize that we've learned some things traveling, being a traveling family, that are helpful all the time, but maybe especially now. So we thought we would make that the theme of this week's episode. So here's to marriage.
While in tight spaces, we recognized very early on the rig that there might be more opportunity to grow than not in the rig.
Yeah.
And now that we're away from family and friends, that's also a factor where we can't necessarily run to a family member's house or go play cards with the guys to escape or vent. Yeah. So you have to really grow in the situation that you're in. Sunday night, and we get to go out on a date.
So the rig was a smaller space than a house that we were in. And it brings up to the surface the fact that love is a choice.
So you might really be aggravated that you are cooking dinner and your husband chooses that moment to do the dishes. And you're this close. Could you hand me the salt?
And you only have a 100 square foot kitchen, it's even worse. So
So you do have to make a conscious choice to love that person in every circumstance. Number 2.
Creativity. So adaptation, we talked about that before.
Lots of times.
In parenting, but it also applies in love.
Marriage. Marriage is what brings us together today.
You have to take what life gives you. So if you're in a rig, you have a different set of circumstances. If you're in a new city where you don't know people or where the good food is or what would be a fun, more economical date, these are all changing circumstances. So we have to adapt, and we recognize that the fire is in our desire to love each other. And ultimately, we can sit in a tent on our back porch with our patio furniture and have a date, because it's about the fact that we have the same goal in mind, and the amount we spend on dinner, or whether it's a novel new experience in a city, none of that matters. It's us just adapting and keeping the main thing, which is each other.
So what are some of the ways you remember us being creative?
Yeah, so when we were in downtown LA recently, it was wonderful because it was a high rise in the view, but we realized early on there was a Brazilian restaurant in the main level of our building. And with built-in babysitting, we made it a priority to get down there a couple of times. We both love trying new food. We love coffee shops. This was a coffee shop. The environment was, something we like. We just like new cultures, new environments, new foods, new experiences. And so we asked our oldest to babysit and snuck down there a couple times.
Yeah, even for breakfast. It
Right.
doesn't have to be super fancy or your preconceived notion of date.
Right. Yeah.
One thing that I love that we do is simply sitting out on the porch, and it's just enjoying nature. It's something we both love.
Yeah.
And just being quiet together is very simple, very inexpensive. Let's go. We escape again.
Running off to the beach is easy. It helps that it's only 2 blocks away.
Yes. Makes for a quick date night.
Sometimes a date is a 12-second uninterrupted conversation where you get to express a whole thought. And sometimes you get to walk all the way to the beach.
It's amazing.
Whether we bring kids along to play or we just go and sit, pack a picnic or just lay out towels, it's just that we both know how much we love nature and love each other, and we hardly even have to talk.
That looks like a fun date.
No.
A lot of times when we have date night, we have at least 10 things that we're like, we need to catch up on. But sometimes it's nice just to go and sit on the beach and watch the waves and see what person comes up to us on a paddleboard with his dog to talk, or whatever happens. It's just fun because we're doing it together.
On another side, when you know that you both enjoy something extremely well, you can go the extra mile, spend the extra money, get a babysitter. I know we enjoy very much Cirque Du Soleil. So when we are in a city that has a show, we tend to make time for that and make it a point to enjoy that together.
Date night, Cirque Du Soleil. We can't wait. This is going to be a great show.
So you've got two sides, simple and what some might call extravagant.
Right.
And we enjoy both. You enjoy the spectrum.
This is an example of one of those that's, tickets might be a little bit pricey, but it's something really.
But we got a good deal.
Yeah, we did. But we bang for the buck though. Afterward, we're like, we would do that again.
Yeah.
And that's a win,
It's totally a win. One important thing that I want to stress: you can't give what you don't have. Rewind. This might be step one, but take care of yourself to keep the fire alive. It's very easy to walk into misunderstandings, stressful situations, aggravation if you don't have the basic building blocks of self-care, sleep, eating well, exercising, and then you've got an issue on your hands. Once you start taking care of yourself, you can funnel that energy appropriately to the marriage.
Yeah. I remember when we were thinking about traveling, I was thinking, we're not put together well enough. We don't have our exercise routine down. We don't have, fill in the blank. We don't have self-care down well enough to add the stress of hitting the road. And that's not really true. It's never going to be perfect, whether you're traveling or not. This is something you have to always work on.
Yeah.
Like any couple, I think we struggle to get enough date nights. So tonight our kids were like, we want to play. You guys got to get out of the house.
Go away. They're like, are you going? Are you going? Are you guys going on a date?
They made it hard to say no.
It wasn't even our idea. When you're traveling, just ask locals. They'll be like, oh, you got to go to this place. Wow, there's 1,000 places to go here, but this is close by within walking distance. And
it was awesome.
Yeah, it was great.
Everything we had was unique and just yummy. And we both really enjoy that. We enjoy trying new things, and
We're definitely like probably the oldest people in there. So it was like
I feel 10 years younger.
we bring different things to the table, and our kids benefit from that.
Mm-hmm.
And this episode isn't about our kids, but it's about recognizing the beauty in your spouse and appreciating that instead of being frustrated by that. Does that make sense?
It does. Yeah.
We will have been married 20 years.
It's crazy talk.
20 years.
Yeah.
What?
I'm glad we started traveling when we did.
Yeah, I'm glad we got married when we were 10. I believe that the individuals in the relationship can give back to the relationship. Some people are they read a lot,
Mm-hmm.
very intelligent, and that really nourishes our marriage when we're speaking about any type of philosophy or some kind of way of thinking
Mm-hmm.
as we're dealing with the kids
Or current events.
or current events. And I really appreciate that. Now, I'm going to speak to the ladies out there because at times the mom just feels like there's just no time to go get something else and then bring it back to the table. I think it's worth it to just slow down for a few minutes, read a passage, read your favorite book, read some poetry, listen to music, watch your children, and bring whatever gives you life
Mm-hmm.
back, because that is going to be your own unique gift to the relationship. Make sense?
Right.
The girls out there know what I'm talking about. There's like I'm like, I can't give anymore.
Well, let me speak. You spoke to the girls, so let me speak to the guys.
Okay.
So if you're like me and you like to read or stay up on current events, I'm just going to drop this hot tip right here. Trust your wife's gut. The woman's intuition is incredibly powerful, and in some instances, it's brings so much more to the table than we can through our intellect. So trust her gut. A good friend of ours, who's a priest, said, "You can choose. You can either be right or be married."
I don't know how I feel about that. One of the things that we love to bring to you that helps us, and this is just our way of sharing it, is this channel, is dreaming. Sometimes we are having just a crummy day, or we're in a rut.
Or work's got your
Yeah.
head spinning with.
Right. We just don't have time to focus or feel positive necessarily. Then we shift our focus to any kind of dream that we share.
Mm-hmm.
And we're hoping that we, in some small way, can bring that to you on a weekly basis.
Right.
Whether it be rig shopping or homeschooling or
Planning a route across the country.
right,
you know.
traveling, going to Disney. It doesn't matter.
That's right.
However we can bring that sense of
Mhm.
hope.
Yeah. We all feel like we get caught in a rut sometimes. Not everybody has children.
Mm-hmm.
Not everybody's married who's watching. So, but we fill in the gap with adventure. And so we like to talk about where are we going next after the lockdown, you know?
Right. It's like adventure halted. Right?
Yeah.
We should change our name. Not So Swift.
Not so swift. Family Robeson. Yeah.
To bring it back to keeping the fire alive, the cool thing about this is we get to do this together.
Mm-hmm.
And although we started doing this almost entirely for our children, I could see us doing this after they're gone too,
Mhm.
because we have found that we love it so much.
Yeah.
That experience and discovery, we realize it doesn't have to end.
Yeah.
But the biggest discovery, get this is really deep, is within ourselves.
It's true. So here we are evaluating. It's been a year and we're looking ahead to the next year. We can't wait to show our kids even more fun and adventure and beauty.
I think that the expectations of some married couples are just a bit too high. And I feel like it's a lot like working out.
Mm-hmm.
Is sometimes you just have to press play or go to the gym, or you're not feeling it at work. Sometimes you just have to show up.
Mm-hmm.
And you're not feeling it. Sometimes it's just not letting the embers go out. So, which is
right. It's good.
Different for different couples, different stages of marriage.
Mm-hmm.
Like my parents are probably watching this laughing. I mean, because we're still newbies, even though we've been married 20 years.
Mm-hmm.
So there's a lot of advice that strong married couples can offer.
I like what you said about fire versus embers, that, and what just showing up means, because idealism or like holding up the perfect sitcom marriage or whatever stops so many people from even trying. So much of the fire is in looking into your eyes, not holding a cell phone. Little things, or like I could multitask, but I care about the message that sends. And although you might look back at me and not feel fired up, those small decisions keep those embers. Like it's my call, and what I do and how I act matters on the daily. Not big, massive romantic dates. Like Cirque was fun, and those things are awesome, but it's the little things that we do. It's that daily commitment, I think, that is most robust. It's the most powerful statement that you can make to keep the marriage hot.
Yeah. It's so many times it's the small things. One of my favorite quotes is, I believe, Mother Teresa, do small things with great love. Mm-hmm. And sometimes it's those small things, those small choices that help keep the embers lit. And that's amazing.
Yeah.
That you can do so much with so little.
So I didn't notice the sign, head in parking only. Well, I'm definitely not head in. I am head out. And there's my lovely souvenir. Failure to obey sign, $63. That's amazing.
Emily asked last night at prayer, she said, why do you have us rush to get the house ready before Mom comes home? And I said, well, because she appreciates it.
You're sweet.
My tea is cold, but our marriage is not.
We want to thank you for being here this week. I feel like we've just invited some of our closest friends to have a little chat about how to make things work in trying times, whether it be a quarantine or a 30-foot rig. So thanks for being here and being part of this little quiet candlelight intimate discussion. We hope to see you next week. Have a good one. Bye.
Bye.
Smell the shore, it's right in front of us if we